Vishnu, is Levi's Gospel, the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, correct and true?
It is a full revelation into the vibration of all spirit. It was truly revealed not only in eye vision, but in a spiritual understanding and knowing of the laws that must exist and operate in order to bring a fullness of that which has been written. It is the final chapters, a final revelation, and a text of excellency for those who seek a truer understanding.
Is the scripture to be published at this time, or is it to be still used as a verbal teaching text by he who is its custodian?
It is that moment that all spiritual matter, or all printed word, must be hastened into full production in your world, for the vibration increases so strongly that mankind must seek through these avenues the understanding of life.
Vishnu, when you speak of order, do you speak of material order?
Only in the order of all living, not that it should be thought of as a sodden task, but rather approached with a true spiritual love, and having each material thing within its material place, thus brings more of a peace from the chaos that is brought about by neglect.
Now, in the case of this move from the Brotherhood of the Spirit recently, was this neglect?
This is not considered neglect, for there must be a confusion until the brothers realize that they must bring order to their new home.
All right, tell me something. And this woman I have known before, why is there such a regret and anguish and resentment toward my spirit? Why does she not look upon me as I am in my intention?
For she cannot understand the fullness of your intensity, nor can she allow herself to open the eyelids of her spirit and there pierce the fullness of your understanding. You little realize your thoughts are so strong and powerful and intent that it behooves a person to become very much in fear of your strength of love, for they see it as a threatening condition until they grow into your understanding and you into theirs.
Vishnu, what can I do to be more compassionate?
To expand your affection and the giving of your thought, and to express it fully within the music, for this is going to be a busy time, and you will notice, and this man Charles will bear witness, that there is upon your countenance a different light than there was before this time.
Vishnu, a girl in the Brotherhood asks, what is keeping me from feeling a greater strength from my spiritual commitment to the Brotherhood?
For they fail to realize, and I speak of many new ones, they fail to look through the gross vibration and rest a perfect commitment into the spirituality. There is that shadow of doubt that constantly slows the vibration, for they do not give willingly and unselfishly of their thought and their energy.
Vishnu, a boy wants to know how he can develop constant love for all those around him.
By expressing the positive force of I am, the words that began the movement of mortal life. It is to practice constantly, every moment, even in doing a material task, that I am spirit, I am love, I am affection, I am giving, I am strong, I am well, I am living in the service of my brothers. This brings a growth that can never be undone, and again brings the peace and happiness that I seek in all of my children.
Vishnu, a certain girl would like to know what her task is in her present incarnation.
Her task is to learn within the Brotherhood the true meaning and fullness from the idea that started with Michael. It must be brought through in a fuller growth, and it is not to linger in the shadow of doubt, but rather to do that task that is placed before her in the true and perfect love. For again, the words of wisdom are forever true, that perfect love casteth out fear.
Vishnu, love, intention, motive is indeed true. The thing that I like to understand is the balance of harshness and gentleness, since I've seen both play a great role in my life in love. And I've had great moments of anguish because of this. Would you speak to me on harshness?
Harshness can be done only when it is committed in a gentle vibration, a stern and firm discipline to those that you have met upon a negative condition, and also those that are on a negative and a positive condition. The harshness is good if compassion is also thought of in the same moment or breath of misunderstanding. But the failure lies in violent harshness, when the compassion is not realized on the basis of not to judge nor scorn a brother, but rather to encompass him in your love and bring into him a balance. Yet each individual must be treated as you see him through your spiritual eye, and not rationalize his way, for the truth must be proclaimed, and though it be rejected, it is still implanted within that spirit, and that is where you have done your part in that spirit or energy has been served.
In the reading of the aura
Your failure is to allow yourself to become too sensitized and feel a hurt that you have needed to use this measure. But if it is placed before you to do so, it is well done in that moment of harsh compassion.
Thank you.
Oh, Vishnu, a certain boy asks why he is uncomfortable around those who have high spirituality.
Simply, there is only a guilty complex or conscious within this person, because it shows within the material disciplines that he has not been able to really grasp the full hilt of life and live without fear, but to live with a peace and an understanding. He is regressing his thoughts to childhood and even beyond, and does not realize that he must come into a full rejection of all life within himself, only to that point where he begins to grow in a positive affirmation with love.
Vishnu, a certain girl asks, why has the search for a mate been of major importance to me?
It is only because of her longing to give a fuller expression to her creativity. And this shall be done, but it must be brought about through a steady growth of thought and living in a peaceful attitude, whereby that soulmate or that full expression of her life can be consummated through her own growth patterns and not allow herself to feel rejected nor sad. For there must be a consistent flow of love, which I speak time and time again about. For their moment of just one negative thought can usurp the balance of your growth for a goodly 24 Earth-hour period. So it is an art to come into the full balance. Yet you can, if you but realize and immerse yourself within your spirit, and yet be mindful of your daily tasks.
Vishnu Douglas asks whether he is doing all that he can at the present time to carry on his role in the Brotherhood.
Here is one of great love. Here is one that sees a great servitude toward his fellow man. And it is well that the growth does come in a very positive way. And there is not a defeat, only a yearning to give even more expression to his life, which shall be done within the vibration. It is not that he is not growing. It is only that he must wait until the karmic energy, the karmic pattern is right for him to express in a more fuller way.
I see. A girl has strange uncertainties of herself as a woman and feels unworthy of a love for a man. And
she is in the masculinity and femininity of the vibration and must turn the key of her thoughts into a past incarnation where she sees herself as a man, and why that she committed the harshness which she did commit, and then bring about a change that will give her a release where she can live the feminine role to the true climax of all life.
Vishnu, on the prayers that you referred to, my prayers that you referred to, the ones that I gave to Michael the other day.
The prayers which I have given to you are partly of the Psalms and partly the finish of that which we have brought to you today. They are an interpretation which can be brought about to a fuller understanding of what was intended in a spiritual interpretation, and not to be fogged by ritual and conventional ways by the materialistic minded.
Vishnu, what I meant was that in the prayers, you referred, I think you referred to some prayers of mine, when you began today, and these prayers are, I wonder if these are the prayers of mine that I gave to Michael 2 days ago. Those that I have developed myself.
Not that you have developed, my child, but what have been brought unto you through the energy of spirit. And they should be used, brought before the public, and should be used in a way that will help the growth of each individual as you spark your eye upon their countenance.
But you said that these prayers were selfish. You said that these are the most selfish prayers. Selfish prayers.
Selfish only unto those that cannot give a fuller meaning or understanding to that which brings about a balance. There can be selfish prayers, and there can be prayers that are positive, but each in its own self, when understood, force the growth pattern which is needed for the individual.
You mean by the word selfish, then you mean relating to myself?
That is correct.
I see, because I misunderstood the term selfish, which in our world, you know, is a very bad word. Vishnu, who was the entity of Ezekiel?
Comes from the Krishna Force that is little realized within this world, but is now incarnated into the world that is now coming upon you in a new spiritual light. It is a forceful energy that has transmitted from one vibration to another. It is a mystical energy that will be understood as the clouds of doubt give way to the light of understanding.
I see. Vishnu, what was the esoteric meaning of the Egyptian Sphinx?
The meaning was of a worship of the understanding of the vibrational spiritual avenues. It was a idol, a way, an interpretation of the spiritual path. And within the labyrinth of the Sphinx, there comes a truer picture or understanding of the religious beliefs that are true in the way they were expressed, but have been misconstrued by those who have not given a fuller interpretation to their meaning.
Oh, Vishnu, in trance communications generally, do they come through the medium's unconscious mind, as Seth said?
It depends upon the avenue that is used. That is, which center is being used. Before you, I am using all senses. I am using all the fullness of the body. I have rejected the etheric substance of the man that lives within this body, and I have assumed command of it as the fullness of all life to give a complete trance condition of the creativity that exists in and around and through all that is positive. There is a semi-trance condition where only a cloud is placed over the mortal brain, and there is transmitted through the cellular structure to the throat a transmission from a positive avenue of spirit. There is also a constriction of the centers that are known within the body of the figure 7, whereby each can be numbed for the use that it must be used for in the diversity of gifts as you know and understand them. Some can speak in a foreign tongue using the numbness of the larynx. Some can do an automatic condition of writing when there is a genuine numbness from the elbow to the fingertips. There can be those that can see when the optic nerve is shattered by such bright energy that it transposes the figure over the material existence and gives a vision of the etheric substance and that which should be known by the person. There is a seeing within the mind's eye, and this is but a quote seeing, unquote, where you see within the retina or the screen of the mind of spirit, where each etheric degree is placed into substance where you know and understand. And here is the familiarity of patterns that come about when people realize they know others around them and have felt that they have lived with them before. There is also excitement of the reproductive organs, where it is touched in upon the creativity, and there is a relaxed condition that follows this degree of frequency of vibration, and thus gives through this channel a more positive meaning or expression, and allows a person to know whether they can mate with that person or whether they are only a shadow of their former life.
Oh, Vishnu, Mr. Babbitt, Elwood, has said that in your coming in, or in high entities coming into him, it is necessary for the controls to transform down the energies of the high entities to bring them into the body. That is a kind of transmission of voltage down. And I was just now in the case of communication like this from the very throne, I wonder how many transformations have to be done to bring your message to her.
It would be beyond the understanding of your brain, for it would short-circuit you in a very complete way if you tried to give understanding to the transmission that must be made, the transformation of all degrees to open wide a perfect channel. You fail to realize that I am the I am. I am that which is fullness of life, that gives expression to everything within eternity, infinitude, or whatever your labels or terms might imply to me. I come in a fullness of positive power, and I see everything in minute detail that gives me and encompasses me with a perfect understanding, so that you may transmit to the world in your humble way the fullness thereof which is needed at this time. I do not proclaim myself, nor do I proclaim the shell, a self-esteemed savior of the world. I simply am a simple, positive power of all creation, and I only come with compassion to give you a fullness thereof to that which you seek, and from it shall come the forward march of not only the musical spheres, but also the books which will be written, the teaching that will be done. And this is what your endeavor is, and also that of this former reincarnation of the mystical brother.
Oh, Vishnu, I think I see now what you mean. Vishnu, you have mentioned making a comparison of the 7 immutable laws of the universe with the 7 regressions of all life. Were you trying to do this?
This shall be done as we open wider the understanding. Yet I must wait until your vibration is where it is prepared to understand and give full measure to it. It is not that moment of time or vibration when I am free to do so until I see your growth come into a more prominent way.
I see. Vishnu, I can remember my own conception of the body, and my consciousness seems to be in the spermatozoan. They're plunged into the egg. Is this right?
This is absolutely correct. And you will find gradually you will regress to your past birth, into the womb, out again, and into the vibration of former existence, where you'll even get a closer picture of why you are such an intense sexual person.
Oh. Vishnu, is there It was magnificent, Dr. Fisher.
Have expanded the vibration, and it is coming in even clearer. I do admit, as to yesterday's tape, there is a few distortions, but you will not be troubled with it again.
Well, that's very nice. I certainly, we're very, very happy indeed with these.
You see now, Michael, what pulsation means.
Jeez, I guess
when the force of Vishnu takes you from the body.
Incredible. I can't believe it.
I did stop for only a moment, Michael, because there is going to be an invasion of the Brotherhood, of many so-called, as I see it, and I frame this word carefully, because all need help. But I see an invasion of undesirables in the people that are coming only for a place to sleep and to eat. And you must be very careful of new ones now that are coming in, for the Brotherhood is getting to be widely known more than you realize.
Yes.
So be careful and warn those that can be trusted and that have that trust, that you must not allow anyone to stay more than 12 to 14 hours. You understand?
Yes, I do, Dr. Fisher.
This is happening, of course, in other brothers or communes as I watch it, but it's going to lead to a great trouble. And I am keeping a very close watch on these that are coming from the West.
I thank you.
So do be careful and keep your own awareness upon it at all times, and have some sort of regulation that will not allow them to camp with just a free thought of not wanting to do the task put before them.
Right. Thank you.
Now the band will soon be moving into a very fast condition. And when it does, there will be a need for trusted and completed individuals in your own thoughts that can guard and guide the Brotherhood through your thought and awareness. For it must not be a thought of leaning upon you, but rather that you have a thought force upon it in order that it does not disintegrate before your eyes.
Right.
You understand?
I understand, Dr. Fisher. I'd like to know about the beginning of the tape today. Can you tell me the beginning of when Vishnu spoke of this inconsideration and selfishness? Could you tell me if this was a magnitude of all people rather than a specific thing? Because Charles was a little bit upset about the prayer. He thought that it was a misinterpretation of his prayers. Whereas when it was spoken, I didn't interpret it as that at all.
It's all inclusive of the negative condition that exists within all thoughts of all people.
That's right.
Not just narrowed to one individual. I believe there is, of course, I am outside of that communication, but I do see that you must be very careful of your English words, for they do have so many meanings.
Well, if that was directed toward me, I'll say to you, it would have blew me out of my body completely, because that was the wrath of Paul. Everyone was the wrath of Paul.
Well, I thought that well, we'll see.
Look out.
But I wonder, Dr. Fisher, do you happen to have any suggestion about the title of the first book? We're still having a little trouble getting the right title. Have you got any ideas that you could give us regarding that?
That will come. But it is not quite right, and I would suggest you take it into the Vishnu and there abide by that decision.
Oh, I see.
I must leave you, for the cell energy is very low.
Okay.